Good morning, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. It is 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, so it is time for coffee and cards. If you are on, please give me a shout out, a like or love to let me know you're with me. And while you're all hopping on, I'm going to go share this over in the other group. There it is. And they always like bury it for me for some reason. Good morning, Emmy. How are you? Okay, let me be right back. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a beat or two while I try to find my coffee. Hey, Carol, good morning. Good morning. Hi, Shirley. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. It feels like it was forever ago. It was a week. And I did take a little bit of time off here just because I'm trying to get ready for my big camp this weekend, right? Hi, Ashley. Good morning. Hello, Miss Trish. How are you? Okay. It's chilly in my studio today, but at least here we're going to be in the 50s. I said that it could even hit 60 today. So somehow I have to figure something out that I can do on my screen and porch today, because it might be the last time that we have that kind of weather until next year. So looking forward to that. My cats are already out there. They greeted me at 7 this morning and we're waiting to go out on the porch. Hi, Donna. Welcome, welcome. All right, a couple of housekeeping things and then we'll get into it. We're going to play with the Penguin Place and the punch today, since the punch is finally back in stock. So exciting to have that back. And of course, if you joined me on Tuesday night, as we went through the last chance list, you saw that it is actually carrying over. It will be unbundled, so you wouldn't be able to get the 10% savings in the future. But it is going to carry over into next mini catalog period. Winter mini catalog. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jeannie. Okay, so, but first, I want to remind you the last chance offer is up. Promotion is up, right? So we went through our catalogs on Tuesday night. If you missed that and you don't know what's retiring, go back, check that out. We walked through it and highlighted the retiring items. 70, that would be nice. Not usual December Montana. I bet it's not. So those items are selling out already, believe it or not. So you want to hop on that if there's things in there that you want. Remember, some of those things are discounted. Some of the dies are discounted up to 50%. So that's really kind of nice. And then, of course, the clearance rack was kind of a surprise load yesterday. Oh, there you go. I found mine too, Demi. And I know things have already sold out on that. It was, there was some amazing deals. There still are some amazing deals out there. So if you haven't been on my site to check out the clearance rack, make sure you do that as well. Okay. Those are some really nice price points out there right now for some really fun things. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. Okay. And then it is December. How did that happen? I don't know. I just talked to my mother and we're like, how is it 10 o'clock already? Well, those stupid hands on that clock keep turning and those pages on the calendar keep turning. Unfortunately, we just can't slow it down. But here's the new host code for December. If you're putting orders in, please use the host code. It qualifies you again for the Just Cards with a minimum $25 product purchase. I do charge shipping to get them out to you if you're long distance. And then there's an in-person option to come here and make the cards the following month as well. So that is the host code for December. Here are the December Just Cards. Hi, Connie. Hi, Jerry. Love this one. I love this paper. Of course, it's leaving us. You know that, right? That is the Harvest Meadow paper. And then a great masculine birthday card. This little deer is carrying over into the new mini catalog coming out in January. about an anniversary card? So sweet. And this is that silver mesh ribbon that was part of the Halloween suite at one time. But you can use it on so many things. So that is a really pretty one. I've had this card in my head for months. Very simple, very basic, right? But it's silhouette on the ombre glimmer paper. So you will either get this kind of shading or you will get one in yellows so that I have enough paper to go around. But I think that is so, so pretty. And then I had to use Eden's Garden and that designer series paper. Remember, Eden's Garden was a pre-launch that we could get early. It will be in the January through June mini catalog, the stamps and the dies. But the designer series paper, the cotton paper, and the gems are just while supplies last. Good morning, Carol. Thank you for sharing, Connie. I appreciate that. Thanks to all who are sharing. So keep that in mind. If that's something that you think you want to grab, be sure you grab it before it's gone, because those 3 items, the 2 papers and the gems, will not carry over into the next catalog, just the stamps and the die. All right, so those are, oh, thanks, Emmy. Those are the cards for Just Cards for December. All right, so who wants to play with Mr. Penguin? Yay, he's so, so cute. And he's not just for kids. So often we think of, when we see cute little stamps and punches like this, we think, oh, that's kids. I don't necessarily have young kids anymore. I never had young kids, but I did have a nephew who I used to make cards for and still do when the occasion calls for it. But you can do a lot of fun things. If you watched, oh, it was the celebration after party for those that earned it. We made an ornament using one of the celebration sets, and we use this as the tag topper. So again, remember, I always tell you, when you get your catalog, you want to go through it, of course, right? Take it to bed with you, sleep with it, all that. But then once you've been through it once, turn it around, turn it upside down. See what you see going back through it, because you just might see some different kind of an image. All right, so this is what we're going to play with. And I'm going to take you through 3 occasions with this, okay? So it is not just for Christmas. Yes, I know. And we got her bundle ordered. Hopefully it's shipped. I did mention, I think, that the sale that we had, you know, the 10, 15, and 20% sale really was a big success for us. And the warehouse got a little behind. So, but I think they're catching up, because I got a ton of shipping notifications yesterday. So that's, if you're waiting, give it a little bit longer, because it's coming. It's coming. It's just that they were a little behind. So they're playing catch up. Good morning, Betty. Thanks for joining me, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hate it when I pull a clear block out and it's missing whatever was supposed to be on it, especially for this set, because truthfully, I could buy a 3rd one. Those little pieces, guys, you got to keep your eye on them. They run away. So this is our first card. And I don't know if it shows up real great in here, but I did an igloo. Okay. So this is just a circle from the Layering Circles, embossed with the, I think, what is it? Brick and mortar or brick embossing folder, right? And then the oval punch, I just punched one of the ovals out of black and trimmed it flat with the bottom of the igloo. Oh, yay, Carol. Good, good, good. So we're going to make this little guy. We've got Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue are our colors. I'm going to cry as much over Misty Moonlight when it retires as I am Seaside Spray. And if you were the early bird yesterday, there was Seaside Spray cardstock on that clearance rack. It's gone, as is the purple posy that was on there. But there's still some, well, as of last night, there were still blends in those colors. So again, probably hard to see on camera, but I did emboss the background with the snowflake folder from the Wintry Duo, right? So you get this one, and then you get the one that has the pine boughs on it. And this is a 3D folder. It could run through the mini machine, right? But, you know, I always tell you guys, and I think I just had this conversation with one of you recently, if you're going to invest in getting yourself a die cutting and embossing machine, I know it's more money, but really get the big one. It gives you no limitations then, right? The mini machine is great if you are like a really avid crafter and you want something easy and compact to carry with you to retreats. It's perfect for demonstrators. It's perfect for us. We're always going to places and back from places. And so, but if you don't have a die cutting machine, then I will always tell you to get the larger one first. And you can always go back and invest in a smaller one to have it handy for you. But if that price point's out of your range, then absolutely grab the small one because you've got something, and more of our dies are fitting in through the small one. All right, so I don't have to worry about this little strip down here because our basic white is going to cover that. So, and I did go ahead and do our circle. So again, I just cut a layering circle and then embossed it with the brick. And it does not matter how many times I go through these boxes and think I have everything. I just realized my Wink Stella is not here, so I'll have to grab that. This, the way I got my curve, and you can see it, but it kind of disappears when you mount this onto the card, just goes away into the background. I stamped what I call the hill image, right, on the basic white. So it allowed me just to follow that to fussy cut it. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. I used to do a ton of punch art back in the day. I haven't done any in a long time. And one of the reasons was we kind of have moved more to dies. Now we're starting to come back to the punches. But that igloo, I pulled that igloo from my memory banks because I remember doing that years ago. Okay, so there's our hill. We're going to go ahead and position this the way we want it. And I'm going to put that on with dimensionals so it gives it a little bit of depth. And I'm actually going to use up some of the pieces and parts and bones here. Yeah, I do too. I have I don't know how many drawer cabinet it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 10 drawers, and it's actually 2 cabinets stacked on top of each other, full of retired punches because I just can't let them go. Although I did let more of them go in the BOGO sale I did earlier this year. Oh, that's weird. But yeah, because they're good. They're great. And they're fast. Okay, when am I going to use those? I'm not sure how old that pack is. Looks pretty old. Let's grab something else. Here we go. So yeah, I never let go of my punches, or very rarely. When I start running out of room and I have to figure out something else to do, then I go and do the painful decisions of which of my beloved children are going to leave my studio, right? Did you see what I did? I put one right there and I don't really want that one there. So let's bring that one over here. All right, so we're gonna mount that again right down here at the bottom so we know where to trim it off. Bring that over enough so I can get the little guy behind it. What do they say in real estate? Location, location, location. Good morning, Karen. And then I'm just going to trim it even. There we go. All right, so the guy sliding down the hill, I did go ahead and do him since he had to be fussy cut, right? Because he doesn't go with the punch. So I just stamped him in the memento and then put his little nose on. And then when I trimmed him out, I made sure that I had, you know, protected his little nose too and kept that on there. That we're going to mount flat. Oops, let's bring him in just a little bit. There we go. So he's having fun on the back hill. We'll go ahead and put our doorway in. And again, that was done with the double oval punch, and I just punched one out of basic black. And then I'm going to mount that in the center of our igloo and trim that off. If you've been stamping a while and you have the subtles embossing folder, You can, I mean, I would do something smaller, right? But you can absolutely make a golf ball with the Settles embossing folder because it puts like the little dimples in the ball. Okay, so there's our base. We are going to stamp our penguin and punch him out. Now, on this particular case, I just did it. Oh, I think it's the nose that's missing, guys. I keep losing the noses. I just did it. Just stamped the image, right? So make sure we have good coverage on our stamp. Always look at your punch to see which way. If I'm sliding this paper in and I stamp him with his head up, it's not going to work. So we're going to do it this way. Stamp him upside down so that you can align it into your punch. Makes your life a little bit easier. You don't have to get a handle and all that stuff if you just take notice which orientation to position the stamped image in. Okay, we do need his nose. I'm going to say a prayer that I left it in the box. I did not. Oh, it's right there. Phew. That's why the little square was empty, the little block. And grab my pumpkin pie. Put his little nose on. I opted not to put his little feet on this one, so we don't have to worry about that. But I did want to get him dressed for the winter, right? So again, so I didn't have to sit here and fussy cut. I went ahead and I did his scarf and I did his little knit cap in the misty moonlight. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness, so cute. Do try to get that centered so you don't have, oops, more of it sticking out on one side than the other. That looks pretty good. And you know what? I'm going to bring in my silicone. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm just going to put a little adhesive right here at the top of his head and mount his little cap. So I think he's adorable. He's going to go right there by his little house. And we're going to bring back in the dimensionals to make that happen. Now, I do overlap the hat and the head on the back with the dimensional just to make sure the hat doesn't go astray, right? It just has a tiny little bit of adhesive on there, so that helps make sure it stays put. Well, good, Trish. It is cute. And you do have kiddos in your life, so it would be perfect. But like I said, it's not just for kiddos. I think this would put a smile on anyone's face. And let's face it, there are a ton of us adults out there that love penguins, right? So who would love getting that card? So we're going to center this, kind of, sort of. It's so cute. So cute. All right, and then I did a 'Tis the Season, and that's from Christmas to Remember, right? That's the great greeting, and then it has all the pine and the pine cones for the die set that goes with it. And I'm happy to say that this one is carrying over. I'm also going to try to put up, if I can't get it on the main page, I'll put it up over on the VIP group. But there's a list of everything that is carrying over out there that I want to share with you. So I'll be working on getting that out at least by Sunday. I make no promises for the next 2 days in my world. All right, are you gonna see you? No, I don't think you are. I ordered it yesterday. I mean, did you order yours? Good, Connie. Yeah. Yeah, right? Everybody loves little penguin dudes. All right, so there's our greeting. And then I did have a Holly Jolly Christmas on the inside, again, using our Misty Moonlight. And you could even stamp, because, you know, we have all the stamps like I did for him. You could even stamp a little penguin on the inside, right? Or something fun from that set. Maybe the little tree or the little present. I love the little reindeer antlers for him too. And then you have all these cute little images. It's just such a cute set. Okay. So this is our winter card, right? Or our Christmas card, since we did put 'tis the season and we're saying have a holly jolly Christmas on the inside. All right, so there's project number 1. Clean up these stamps since I'm going to be using a couple of them again, I think. All right, who's done Christmas shopping? Yes, it would. Yes, it would make good birthday cards. Because I just, you know, it's troublesome that we can shop online in some cases, because Amazon and I are almost on a personal basis. I was looking for something yesterday for an event I have coming up, and I ended up buying more for a few people in my life. So you never know, right? You think you're done and you're really not. No shopping yet. Hey, there you go, Shirley. Oh, thanks, Shirley. Oh, thanks, Connie. Oh, you're done. Oh, Carol, you're so good. And Donna's done and wrapped. I love that. Okay, I did not prompt Ashley to say it would make a good birthday card, but it really does. So this is our next card. And we've got a little fancy penguin here wishing you a happy birthday. So hopefully you can see that that is done with the black glimmer paper. Don't forget to put Wink of Stella on your igloo if you do that. I didn't have mine in my box. That's why I didn't add that today, but the first one had the Wink of Stella on it. So, and you know what color it is, of course. Yes, Amazon is my best friend. Next to Stampin' Up. So I love him dressed up. He looks like you should be a waiter in a fancy little restaurant bringing you your happy birthday balloon at your surprise party, right? All right, so basic thick white. Basic thick white is our base. And then I went into the 6x6 family of colors. This is the Highland Heather, I think. Yes, Highland Heather. So that's one of the patterns. It's double-sided, of course. So we're going to use that as our background. No idea why I flipped the card over. I love that pattern. I think that's probably one of my favorites. All right, so, and I know this does not show up, but I use the shimmery white, right, to go with the basic black glimmer paper. So yeah, so if you didn't know, wait, what did I do with the punch? If you didn't realize, so the black is punched from the glimmer. And then this, and you know what? This looks like a fancy dress to me. I just have to figure out what to put it on. But, right? You know, like a strapless dress, like a Marilyn Monroe kind of dress. I don't know. It's me. I'm telling you, I'm crazy. But hopefully in a good way, right? But so that's the white part. So you can do everything, including his little feet. The only thing you have to stamp on your penguin, if you're not big into stamping, is his nose and his eyeballs. We can even stamp his bow tie. So let's put this together. Oh, thanks. Good. Good, good, good. Yes. It's nice when you have friends to stamp with, right? I don't think there's a right or wrong to this. I know the shimmer's on both sides. So we're going to put this on here. And I'm being brave because I probably should have stamped his little face. You know what? Let's do that. Since I have the adhesive on it, I'll just stick it down here and we'll go ahead and do our stamping first before I mount him. All right, so now we have to find all the little pieces and parts. Here's his little bow tie. There's his eyes. Doo-doo-doo. Pretty sure I have extra little blocks here. I do. So we're going to do his eyes first because I find that helps me position the nose or the beak. Guess, is it a beak on a penguin? I don't know. Yes. Well, so now I was like, wait, am I doing the right thing? Okay. And then I already have his nose mounted, so we'll go ahead and do that. In the pumpkin pie. And then I actually punched his little feet. So we'll punch his feet here in a second. All right. Oh, and his bow tie. We need his little bow tie. Okay, I'm running out of little blocks. Let's do this one. Put that one there. And of course, we had to bring in the Highland Heather for that because the Highland Heather is going to coordinate with his bow tie and his balloon. So cute. All right, so I have got some pumpkin pie here. We're just going to go ahead and punch 2 little feet. I always like to create little strips like that, especially with the double oval punch, because typically you don't want the solid oval and the scalloped oval out of the same paper. So if you make strips, you conserve your paper because you're not getting part of the oval punch when you're stamping the one that you're or punching the one that you're probably going to stamp your greeting on, right? So one little, I was going to say paw, and I know that's not right. Hey, you'd think with all the wildlife I get around here, I'd be more familiar with all these things. Not so much. All right, there he is, cute as a button. And now because he's on the silicone sheet, I can just peel him off. And he's still sticky. Okay, so he's going to come over on here. I'm going to put this back in the case before pieces and parts wander away. And then we're going to bring in our Highland Heather and our balloon. So he's going to sit down here. I'm going to drop that balloon down the string, the stick in the string, I guess it is. And if you really wanted to, you could make, let's do that. I think I have it here. Yeah, let's do the stick in crumb cake, because usually that's more like wood, right? It looks so easy. I know there's a ton of little parts to that, and just be really careful with them, guys, because they do wander away. And this idea literally just hit me as I was reading Trisha's post or comment. It almost might behoove you, especially if you are somebody that takes your stamps in and out a lot like I am, to cut a piece of window sheet and put all those little stamps on that piece of window sheet, and then put that little window sheet in a Ziploc bag and put that in your stamp case. Oh, sandhill cranes. All right. That's pretty cool. And that way, if they do come off the sheet, they're contained in the bag, right? Now you might end up with pieces stuck together. You can absolutely get those apart, but they're not going to fly out. Like when I opened that case, you saw that little nose had left its spot and was down at the very bottom. And if I hadn't been paying attention, that's probably how I lost the first one, in all honesty. So think about that too. That's an option to help contain things like that. Matter of fact, I probably will do that, especially because I'll put this set away maybe, since we won't be able to buy it until the next mini catalog comes out. That's one of the best balloon images we've had, I think, for what that's worth. All right, so then he's going to come over here, look like he's holding on to the balloon, right? That's why you got to keep him low so he can sit at the bottom and still look like the stick is in his hand. We are going to pop him up. Look how cute. All right, and then I have the happy birthday stamp here. Let me clean the bow tie. Uh-oh. Even though I know I'm going to need that one again. And the happy birthday that I'm using comes from the penguin, right? So you've got happy birthday, season's greeting, lots of thanks. Be cool, be chill, be merry. I love that. To the coolest friend ever. I like you a lot. It's like a little, except a lot. That makes me chuckle. All right, so happy birthday in the black. I'm using the grid paper to hopefully keep me somewhat straight. I'm not sure it works that time. He does look ready to party, right? I know. I love the black glimmer. It just gives it a little extra something, something. Too cute. And because we're punching, right, and stamping, this is a great card. If you're stamping with your kiddos or something, and you want to do something fun that they'll love, it's not a hard card at all. No dies involved, not a lot of technique, just a little bit of aligning. And on the inside, I left it blank on the inside right now because I don't know. I might put in that I like you a lot. Except this is crooked. Let's see if I can fix that before that seal sets. Did you know if you get to the seal in short order, yeah, that's a little better. You can pull it off, but once it's sat for a few beats, yeah, well, good luck with that. Use your dental floss, right? Okay, so there's project number 2. This is a birthday card. So a very versatile set. It doesn't just have to be for winter and Christmas. And now we're going to move on to card number 3. Because we have Valentine's Day literally just around the corner. You would, I know. And we used to, and I thought about that, Ashley, we used to have that snowman set that had the top hat, but it's retired, so I didn't pull it out. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. How about, here's I like you a lot. It's a Valentine's card. And it's like a little except a lot. So this is, this could be a gal pal Valentine's card. It could be a hubby Valentine's card, a boyfriend Valentine's card. You can use it for anybody, right? Because it's not real romantically mushy. I'm killing you. I don't want to kill you. Oh, no, say it isn't so. All right, so we are using a combination of Real Red and Pumpkin Pie. Okay, who would have thought to put those together? And we are using this beautiful piece. Now this comes from the ornate layer dies. Oh, thanks, guys. So look at all these dies. They're fabulous. Little bit, you know, your die brush is your friend when you cut these out. I will tell you, if somebody said to me, what's the difference between the old machine and the new machine? Well, the new machine is much tighter. So when I roll these through, I only have a couple to like take my fingernail across the back and they pop out. The old machine, you had to do a little bit more to clean them out of the dies and clean the pieces out of the paper. But anyway, that is a great die set. The other thing that I used, and it's very subtle, it's in the background, but, Ashley, you might have to bail me out. There is this cute double set in the annual catalog, and I don't even have one of those by me, and I can't remember the name of it. Dottie Hearts, maybe, something like that. So it's perfect for Valentine's Day. It's little dotted lines and then tiny little hearts, then larger hearts and circled with dots, and then the pattern repeats itself. So I just ran it across the real red before I mounted anything to it in the center, just to give the background just a little bit of interest. So again, I know it's probably hard to see on camera, but it adds just that little bit of extra touch too. Hold it. That's if you can put it in straight. And I don't want to go the whole way to the fold because the pattern stops. So if you've ever done that, if you've ever pushed your cardstock the whole way into the fold and like, you're like, hey, I'm short, the pattern didn't go the whole way up. That's why. So they have these lines printed on the folders now. And if you're going to try to line it up, that's the place to do it. Okay. All right. So this is a regular embossing folder, which is just a little bit different for that. That's just 2 cutting pads instead of the gray pad. And there we go. So I don't know if you can see it any better there or not. Now, I definitely did not do a good job of getting that centered, but that's okay. We're just going to alter the design a little bit so it'll show more, and we'll pop this up a little bit higher, and then we'll have that cute little pattern running across the bottom. So there are no mistakes. It's just opportunities for creativity. Thank you, Ashley. Dottie Hearts, page 154. So my brain is not completely gone that I was able to pull that out of somewhere in the back of my head. All right, so now before we mount this, we're going to go ahead and do our stamping and all that in case we have to flip it over. And we are stamping our images for this guy. So we're going to bring in, because they're just, no, I did punch them out. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. I've got some white. This is just regular plain white. And we need this one that reminds me of a fancy dress. I don't know why. And then we've got the black. We need lots of things here. What do we need? We need the eyeballs and the feet and the nose. And I should have brought one more block over here. Let me grab this one for the eyeballs. Okay. And then, that nose has wandered away. Oh, it's right there. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and stamp the feet this time too. You could punch it out. Either way is fine. I'm definitely doing that idea about putting them on a piece of window sheet and putting them in a Ziploc because they are gonna disappear. Okay, so she looks kind of funny without the black behind her. Yeah, it does look like a ghost. Let's get her mounted together here. So cute. And then I used the little bow tie as a hair bow. So I did stamp him in advance and cut out that bow because that was tiny. But easy because it's all straight lines. So it wasn't that it was hard, but right now with having some of the issues that I'm having, there we go. So again, I'm going to bring back in that silicone pad to put my adhesive on her hair bow. And then I'm just going to pop it up here. Guess it's not really a hair bow, it's just a bow because penguins, I don't believe, have hair. All right, so we've got that. We're going to just lay them on here for the moment. Get my positioning. And then we're going to bring in our inside greeting. Here is our outside. Let me make it straight. Give myself as much hope as I can get. Not too bad. We'll take it. And then we need the tiny, tiny, tiny little heart, which I think is still in the stamp case. Let's hope. It is. These little stamps are almost microscopic. Getting a little bit of real red action. They moved on me. Bring in this other piece while I'm stamping, and then I can safely move all the stamps away. So I did that in the red too. And then I added a heart behind it. Oh, it would be a great anniversary card. Yes. Yes, it would. Grab that little heart again. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to put it together. And these are mounted flat because I mounted the whole piece up. So I tend not to do 2 layers of dimensionals just because I don't want you all or myself to have issues at the post office. Oh, I think it's so cute. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Come on. The only time I have to work that seal anymore is when I do tiny little pieces like her hair bow. This is mango. Yeah, I said pumpkin pie, but you know what? It might be mango melody, actually. I think it is. This one, as I said, we're going to put up with dimensionals. We want it to stay up, so it gets flattened out going through the mail. We'll do that. I have a girlfriend that would do another row in between. You don't have to do that. This is a great opportunity, something like this, when you're doing it for our adhesive strips, the foam adhesive strips. You get a lot of those in a package. And so now I want to remember, I'm going to bring this up just a little bit higher so we don't have that huge gap at the top. And we're showing off our embossed pattern at the bottom. Okay, so there is the third project. You can get it, Marlene. It's available again. All right, so we did I Like You a Lotto. We did a happy birthday. And we did the traditional, what everyone thinks of when they look at the stamp set, probably winter and or Christmas card. Now, the only other thing that I did to this guy is I added a couple little red rhinestones, as you can see. But this is such a cute set. Oh no, Ashley, that's horrible. And really, you've kind of got a beginner, a casual, and an avid crafter here. So something that can appeal to any level of stamper, whether you're brand new to stamping, this would be a perfect card to introduce you, or you've been doing it a little while and you like a little bit more pizzazz, or you really want to get into it and do a little bit of punch art, if you will, creating your igloo. I hope you like these guys. They're so much fun to play with. And that stamp set has so many tiny pieces in it. Remember, keep that tip in mind. But you can create all kinds of things with this stamp and punch. It was fun sharing these with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, I'll be back Sunday night at 8 for Come Stamp Along with me. And we're going to make something fun. I've got them designed, but I've had them designed for a little while and I can't remember what they are. So come and check it out with me. We'll both be surprised. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And stay safe. I'll see you Sunday night. Bye.